wine.
Wisdom.
Whiskey, wine, and wisdom.
And Rachel and Deji. James and James.
Episode 31.
That's a lot of episodes.
I think it's 31. Yeah, it was 30. Yeah, of course. We missed one. Now, I was going to do one. I was going to do one with my missus because you were stuffed anyway.
Yeah.
So I was going to do one with missus. I was going to do Birdcast, and I just got sick as a parrot. And we had the gig on the weekend, and then I got the bug, and I've only just really kind of recovered now. And I was going to do it, and I had stuff, and I was going to do it, and then it just didn't happen. So I was kind of gutted actually because she was up for it, and we were like, cool, we're going to do this, and I thought, this would be a laugh. And it'd be like a little. So I might chuck in a little squeaky midweek like Birdcast at some point just for a hoot. But don't worry.
I think it sounds good.
They can't replace you, James.
I know.
Don't worry.
I know.
Okay. So, what's happened? How you been?
Yeah. Good. I've caught throat stuff now. I've got a sore throat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's all those loads.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's what it is, mate. Clearly.
Yeah, but no, it's all right. I mean, I've been searching for like new job things. So that's all good. So that's coming to a bit of a rest, which is nice. That's kept me busy.
Mate, I tell you what, I was ranting to this to all the other people of our age, our peers, because we're in I'm in early 40s. You're with us now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're in 40 Town.
40 Town in end of
So
August.
I'm 42 in a couple of weeks, and El Buono just turned 43.
Yeah.
So we're all early 40s, right? Now, the deal was when we were in school, they were like, what you do is you work really hard and you get a job, and then you work hard on the job and you build yourself up, and eventually over time you get a good salary. Over time, you put your head down, you do the work, you don't say anything racist, you don't bang the boss's missus or the boss unless that's what the job is. I don't know, it's complicated, but anyway, you do that and then eventually you're all set and it's all good. And I think almost everyone I know who now sort of peer group, and I should point out, right, I've got my group of friends, our group of friends, they're not dickheads. We've got a pretty sensible, heads on straight bunch of, yeah, but
I know I'm not the greatest.
you're fucking wonderful. What are you talking about? You're Captain Jambo.
Yeah, all those naysayers out there. You heard it from the horse's mouth, from the top Whiskey, Wine and Wisdom podcast, world renowned, that I am not a pleb.
I've not got a horse's mouth. What an odd expression.
Did I say you got a horse's mouth?
You said you heard it from the horse's mouth.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know. That's
a weird one, man.
That's an expression.
I should say as well, just because it's not visual, James has got a full Amish beard going thing at the moment. I can't quite work out the plan, but apparently he's not allowed to shave off the bottom bit of his beard because it'll make his missus sad.
So what happened was I was having a wee bit of a shavy shave, and
did you have that thing you go with the razor and you go, I made a mistake?
Yeah. Because I cut half it off basically, so I can't mirror it. Otherwise, that's just horrendous.
Yeah.
That's not gonna. So I thought I had to go whole hog and match the whole thing, and I look like a twat. Katie said I look like 12. I look like I was 12.
No, you look like Brother Caleb. You look like, you look like you went on Rumspringa and never went home. You just look like
I have been racing barns more recently,
mate. You sell it. You sell it.
Yeah.
If you knocked on doors and said barn, they would probably go.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yes, like sure thing, English. Come on in.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah. But anyway, my point was, everyone I know who's in that bar a couple of people, you know who you are, you lucky bastards. But most people, they're doing this thing, and all of a sudden they're hitting their 40s and they're having to enter this hustle economy of just bullshit and doing 12 jobs or having to go back into the job market, and it's just like, that wasn't the fucking deal, guys.
No,
that wasn't the deal. You work your dick off. You don't. I've never not worked. And
yeah.
I'm looking at the moment as well, and I'm like, this is some bullshit. So I don't know. It's Yeah, it's not right. It's not the deal. And I think, like, these days, a lot of the kids, they grow up thinking about, oh, you've got to hustle. Every day's hustle. Every day I'm hustling. But it's like, I don't want to hustle. I just want to work. I just want to do my job. And I just want to do my job and know that the paycheck's getting paid, and then I can go home and, and I just want that. And that certainty's just not a deal anymore. And it's fucking Brexit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to blame anything else, but it's fucking... Yeah, I could rant around, but it's just like, yeah, it's totally that. It's Tories and Brexit. That's it. Cunts.
And Timu.
Timu's done a lot of good too, man.
Yeah.
It's a bit of yin-yang situation, right? Same with AliExpress. There's some really dangerously good shit on it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's the point. But
they make me spend my money.
They steal it from my wallet.
Although, in all fairness, I've not actually got anything from them. I've been quite well restrained after I bought miniature Lego from Wish, and I know I've got problems. Why have we got a tiny little Pikachu turned up at Alice James? I made it from little Legos.
It's like a gift. But anyway, that was all. It's not fair. Wow. Fucking, yeah. And I could argue the case, but I don't need to, because everyone knows it's fucking true. It's just frustrating, because I'm like, for fuck's sake, it was all sweet, it was all good, and now it's a pain in the ass. But that's all. I'm sure it'll get better in time, and by the time my kids get bigger, they'll probably be okay again. For fuck's sake.
Might win the lottery by them.
Oh, mate, this time next year, son.
Yeah.
We'll be fucking prison probably, but or millionaires, I don't know, but the situation will have changed, and I've made peace with it. I'll ride the wave. Let's see. It's a beautiful ride. Let's see where it goes.
Can we put a bit of music over that bit when we go back to, if we edit any of this?
If we listen to music the whole time, that was always the plan. What kind of music are you thinking?
Well, I think when you're saying that bit, just put some like wave and seagulls. Beautiful wave.
I always remember it's in Walk Hard, right? Which is Walk Hard. It's a wonderful film, but there's a song he sings at the end. When he plays it, then he dies immediately after the song, and it's about it being a beautiful, like his life is a beautiful ride.
That's the Cash one, isn't it? Johnny
Cash biopic, piss take. It's fucking brilliant film. Like, I think it's still the best parody film I've ever seen. It's amazing. It's one of those films like that just died, no one saw it, and it's just brilliant. Same with like Popstar. Those two parody sort of musical parodies are stunningly good films, and just never got the love. But they're fucking great. They're fucking great, man. Anyway, fucking hell. That was we haven't even started yet. This week, what the fuck? I'm doing. Hang on a sec. What did you go for in the end?
Well, I went very topical for the time of year. Halloween.
You're doing Halloween, and I'm doing...
Darkness falls across the land. And other things I can't do anymore.
I'll get it. Ducky balls.
Ducky balls.
Ducky balls. Blood. I've got 10 unsolved mysteries throughout the ages. So I suppose it's slightly creepy. I've actually got a bonus fact. I'm gonna preamble with my bonus fact, because I heard it and I thought that's amazing. So I'm going to start with my bonus fact, which has nothing to do with our subjects.
I forgot, when I was talking with my sister yesterday, she actually told me a fact that you could use unsolved, but it's a French one.
Was it unsolved mystery, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, chuck it at the end then. That's
La pista de la muerte. No, it's not that. That's
de la muerte.
Spanish,
isn't it?
I know. I started off French, then I went into Spanish because I'm a
Spanish.
Franish.
Well, I'm going to read my fact.
You go. Yeah.
The albatross is the world's largest bird, right? They're fucking huge, bigger than you think they are, right? They can go years without landing.
Really?
Yeah, they sleep in the air, they eat, they hunt, they literally dive down, they eat, they go back up, and they keep flying. They spend their first 6 years of life flying over the ocean before coming inland to mate. Alright? It is capable of travelling more than 10,000 miles in a single journey, without stopping, and it can circle the entire globe in 46 days.
Wow.
They're bad motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need, but they can, compared to their metabolism, they literally just, they fly and they eat, and then they turn that, they're so efficient that they can just fuel themselves mid-flight, just keep going. They can refuel, just keep going. They don't need rest time. They don't need to rest. Just keep going. And they're fucking huge. Because their wings are so big, they can just ride the thermals and just keep going. Fucking amazing. Albatross, man.
I'm an albatross.
But that was nothing to do with anything else. I just thought it was a cool fact. Because when I heard years, I'm like, no, years. They fly for years without landing.
I think that's pretty mental.
And yeah, that was all. Random bird fact. Random bird fact. Anyway, rock, paper, scissors, spaff. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not even going to do any mind tricks or anything.
Because that's been working for you. So let's just do the thing. Are you ready?
Writing the mental.
Stop. Do it. Just come here. Come on.
Yeah.
You decided what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Me too.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Fuck's sake!
It's astonishing. He's paper, I'm scissors. I don't understand this. People listening probably think this. They honestly, at this point, they must believe it's got to be a trick, right? Because it's just fucking mental. Like, I don't think of you.
This is why I drink.
Yeah, but I don't think of you as someone who just like loses these things. But for, like, I want to. I'm never taking you to Vegas, man.
Always bet on purple. There isn't a purple.
Always bet on floor. Okay. All right. We'll start. These are the mysteries throughout time.
Before you do, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking. I've got some Jim Beam and some Coke Zero.
Lovely.
And I've not been drinking because I've been sick as a parrot this week. Parrots don't have sick. I've been ill as shit. The thing is, because I'm on my Todd at work at the moment, so there's no one else there, and I'm having to go in. So if I don't go in, it doesn't happen, right? So I'm not like, woe is me, because it's, people in worse situations than that. But I went in on the Tuesday, man. I'd spent the whole night. I had the shittest night's sleep in my life, because I had a full fever. I was shivering. So every time I get up to piss, I felt like I was dying from cold. I was shivering, and I had to sit down, because when I was standing up to pee, I was just splashing all over. I was shivering my arse. I was like, what the fuck? And then I had to go to work in the morning. I'm driving in, and I had to pull over because the shivering was so bad. When I was driving, I was like, what the fuck? I had to sort of go in. I'm like, no, I had to heat up. Then I had to heat. In the office, I had to heat up, hot, cold. And then I was going through the fucking thing. And in the night, though, I was shivering. I kept waking up, and I kept pissing because I kept drinking because my throat was so fucked. And every time I would fall asleep, because I was so congested and all bunged up, I would dream very vividly that I was either drowning or being covered in sand, which you'd love.
I found out.
Yeah. And then one time I was an old man, and I was on I think I told you this one. I was on like a caravan.
Yes, yeah, you said
and
that,
I was in there with the missus, and we were both old, white hair, and I fell over, and I was like, I can't breathe, and I was congested, I was coughing up my guts on the floor, and I couldn't breathe, and she was like calling for help, and I was on the floor, and I was looking around, I see the cabin. I remember there was a fucking life vest for some reason on the wall. There was a little weird till computer thing by the front. I was like, wonder what that's for. It was gated off in the front of the cab. It's very weird, very incredibly vivid. And I was choking to death as an old man. And then I woke up, and I basically hunched to one side, and I couldn't breathe. So I woke up like I was dying, and that kept happening throughout the night. Worst night's sleep in my life. And I went in. I was like, so I haven't touched the drop. Is in the conclusion. And now this is my celebratory, I'm feeling better drink. So I will kind of clink with you, sir.
Yeah, I was going to say, talking of celebrations.
And to your job, sir.
Thank you.
Back to the workforce, for fuck's sake.
Back to reality. Oh, there's been rubber. I'll tell you, it was since the beginning of August. I stopped, but I'm fucking bored.
So you're not made for it? I'm not made for it.
No, I need to be doing stuff. I mean, I'm sure.
Do you just tidy all the time?
Well, the kitchen, mate. Dinner's been ready. When Kay gets home, dinner's ready. We're eating
Are you a good housewife?
I'm a bitch. I literally am.
I think I'd be a good housewife. I genuinely was like, if she got like a big job, I was like, I'll be a housewife. I'll just make this house what I will make the house so good. I was like, you know what? I'm like, it's so. Again, it's one of those things. It's like it was never the deal, but I'm like, mate, I'd be up for that. I would totally be up for that. I would absolutely dust every day. I would absolutely vacuum. I would steam the carpet. I would love to do all that. That lawn would never grow above a millimetre. I would have it zoomed every day.
Yeah.
I'd be alright. I could be a good housekeeper. And I was the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Not even that. It appeals to me. Going out for like, oh, where am I going to walk the dog today? What should I do today? Just like having that. I was like, oh, this would be cool. So yeah.
But that's cool having time, because I've walked your dog a couple of times.
You've been a legend.
Small boy, massive shits.
Been a dear, yeah, he is just the cheapest shit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know those the stuff of chum you can get. Webbox chum.
Yeah.
He's basically that with fur. He's just a chum dog.
Yeah.
With little paddles for feet. My first fact is about the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. 1587 was the year. America has not been established. At the moment, it's still an English colony. A group of 115 English settlers, one of the first colonies at the Roanoke site, and they established it as Roanoke Colony on Roanoke Island, which is in Carolina, modern day Carolina, North Carolina. Then the governor, John White, returned in 1590 after a resupply mission. The colony was completely deserted. Only the word Croatoan was carved into a tree. Theories range from assimilation to the local Native American tribes, natural disasters, or Spanish attacks, but the true fate of the colonists remains a mystery. But when they went there, obviously they hadn't been to the site for 3 years. They came back to check on the colonists. All the houses were completely there. Nothing had been taken. Clothes were still there. Everything was there. There were no bodies. There were no buried bodies. There was no record of it. No one had written any notes. There was zero sign. 115 colonists when they left, and obviously a lot of them, they're colonists, so they're banging out kids left, right and centre, so they expect to go back, and unless there's been some horrific, but if there'd been, like they went through the theories, like if there'd been a disease, there'd be bodies. If they'd been massacred, there'd be bodies. If they'd had to have left voluntarily, and they'd also have to have not taken anything with them, because all their possessions, clothes, like their hunting rifles and all this sort of stuff, they were still there. It's a right fucking weird one. So they thought maybe they'd assimilated into the local tribe, but they were like, these are puritanical, Christians. It's very unlikely. Like that was one of the major theories, because it's anyone makes sense.
Yeah.
But and actually, the local tribes do have genetically they can see there is a history of European blood in there. So absolutely, some people have got in there, but that's because back in them days there was a lot of rape.
Yeah.
Just a lot of rape, because it wasn't. I don't think that's in the Bible. It doesn't say don't rape. So I think a lot of these Christians were just like, I guess it's fine then.
It's the only thing.
Yeah, it's just like, why not? And only really recently, like culturally, we've sort of accepted that that's probably a bad thing to do. But back then, it wasn't. They didn't know any better, did they? They just thought it was, bastards. Anyway,
Yeah.
But yeah, Roanoke, fucking weird one, man.
Yeah.
I do think though, like if you look back on the historical records of the settlers, people going on boats across the North America and everything, they were settling over there. It's like, yeah, you got like 50 chance that you die on the way. When you do get there, you're like, how far across the country? Because they only had they come across, it'd be on the east coast, and then the journey west. It's like you're probably going to die. You're almost certainly going to die. There's so many people trying to kill you, and the landscape's trying to kill you, and that's if there's not storms or fucking tornadoes or fucking earthquakes, crocodiles, all kinds of shit. It's like, you're probably going to die. The people who actually got over to like the west coast, California, all that, right?
West Side.
Yeah, like the Wild West. It's like, the reason they were so mental was because it took them like hundreds of years to get that far across the country, and the people who did get there were the most insane people. They were the ones who like, they're the full-on lunatics who got that far. But yeah, Roanoke was on the east coast, let's say in Carolina, and yeah, where'd they go? We do not know.
No. Lovely. Not lovely, but Fact.
Fact.
Would you like to know about Jason Voorhees?
Yes, I would.
Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th really did drown in the lake. Kinda.
Okay.
The villainous serial killer from the infamous Friday the 13th franchise remains at the bottom of a Minnesota lake in statue form.
Okay.
They tricked you. Diver Doug Klein constructed the Jason Voorhees statue, mask and all, made of plywood, bubble wrap, and foam.
Bubble wrap.
I know, right? Because that sinks well, doesn't it?
So does foam, famously.
Yeah. And he placed it 120 feet down in the water.
That's deep.
I know, right? So it's a water-filled mine pit known as Lewis near
Murder Lake.
Crosby, Minnesota. It's only been able to be seen by the most advanced divers.
So you're some super diver, you're down there in the deep depths,
Hmm.
and you come across Jason Voorhees holding a giant knife, probably.
That was scared. I mean, if I was a diver, I don't think my first go-to would be, I need to watch all these Friday the 13th films. I've most probably got other things to look into, and then to go down to there and see, fuck, what's that?
I'm not that familiar with the Friday the 13th. I've seen the original and I've seen a remake, but I've not. There was like 8 or 9 films in that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
No, I'm on Elm Street. No worries. I've seen them all. Right.
Oh, brilliant.
Halloween. I've seen most of them. Again, I think the stabby ones aren't as. I like the supernatural ones more.
Yeah, it's
But I
like
should watch them all.
I liked the Hellraisers as well.
I didn't. I thought they were a bit.
Well, I've got the first 3 I had in a box set.
Yeah.
I loved those 3. I think it did sort of die out a bit as it was getting more and more and more. I then got back. I saw the
Well, there's the one
the
of
new
them
one.
when they recast the dude and he was like, didn't look anything like, looked completely fucked.
Yeah.
There's one guy's got like a chubby face, looks like Timu pin
Yeah.
fake. It's like, what you done, mate?
I've got pins in my head, and then they changed it to, oh, I've got an ouchie. Oh.
Yeah, it's like, my skin's really itchy. Could you pass some moisturiser?
Oh dear. But Voorhees.
Voorhees in the leg. Okay. Now you might remember from, I think it was a Shreddies advert about the Mary Celeste.
Okay.
Was it Shreddies? And that's why they found no survivors on the Mary Celeste. It was some advert.
That's ringing the bell.
Fuck, what advert was it? Anyway, but irrelevant. It was a real boat. A merchant vessel was found adrift in the Atlantic Ocean in December 1872. No crew aboard. Again, just like Roanoke, no record. The ship was fully stocked with provisions. There were no signs of violence or foul play. The crew's personal belongings and valuables were still on board, adding to the confusion. Despite various theories including piracy, mutiny or natural disasters, no one knows what happened to the crew. Again, you go through the list, it doesn't make any sense. If pirates, they wouldn't just steal the people, they would plunder the stuff, right?
That was their
If
main
they've been
purpose.
diseased, what?
Yeah, that was pirates' main purpose was get the loot.
The loot is more important than the people. I mean, don't get me wrong, the slave trade, even in 1872, was still a thing. It's still a thing today. But it's, obviously less so. But mutiny, again, wouldn't make any sense because they left all their stuff. Natural disasters, absolutely. You'd see some record if it was like a storm or something. It's like, but where the boat was fine. The boat was completely structurally fine. It got guided back into dock. They still don't know what to do with it. They have no idea, and no one can work out what could have happened. There's literally, and also there's like they went through the captain's log was there. There's literally log entry. No, nothing weird, and then it just stops.
Captain's log was still there. Didn't you flush the toilet?
He was on a boat. They didn't have a plumbing system. They just did it. Just did it in a bucket and chucked it over the side. Come on. You are a fucking child. I feel like my voice sounds like nasally and a bit wanky today. I don't sound as fun.
No?
I don't know. Does it sound a bit weird to you? Bit croaky?
It's got a little bit more of a depth to it, but it's still.
Is it a bit sexy? Is it sexier? I said that to the postie today at work. I sort of said, he goes, mate, you getting over Sonny? I said, I got something. I'm just like, voice is still a bit sexy. He's like, okay. I'm like, alright, guess it's not. Fuck.
But I swear, I used to do that when I had a really, really bad throat, and I still went into work, and I had to do things on the phone. I swear people would buy it to be a bit easier.
Yeah.
Hey there, baby. How would you like to talk about your home insurance now?
If there's a home insurance advert later with my deep voice. Hey there, darling. You want to buy some home insurance?
Do you need to secure your valuables?
Anything can happen.
Give them to me. They call me Jambalina. Have you seen her? That's come back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Captain's Dog, but we done that one or?
I was done. Yeah, no, just again unknown. I did think with some of these we could sort of theorise. Come on, these are unsolved. We could solve them.
Kraken.
Kraken would have stolen their chocolate bars.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it would have fucked the boat up, wouldn't it? Would have smashed the boat to pieces. You've got to figure something could have happened. They would have all consensually got out of the boat and left. Tell me.
What if the crew were all from the very beginning when they set sail?
Go on.
They started off and ended up as ghosts. They were ghost crews to start off with. Therefore, they couldn't move anything. So the boat could only move wherever the weather would take them. The weather was fine. You can't find them because ghosts are invisible, standard. And even if the ghosts fell in the water, they don't make a splash. No one can hear them.
Goes down the water. I don't think so, purely because it was a commercial boat and everyone was at the dock waving them off.
No.
They weren't waving off their family member who was a ghost. They were waving off, Goodbye, Colin. Come home soon. I will, dear. Liar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one, but I just think is it like they'd have to. I thought maybe if there was disease and like one at a time they're being chucked over the side because there's some outbreak or something, but then it would take a few days and the captain would log it. Unless the captain died first, but then the first mate would take over and he'd become like there would be some record of a disease taking hold. It had to be like instant. Aliens.
Yes.
Had to be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't see a way around it.
No.
Same with Roanoke. Fucking aliens. So, alright, the first two mysteries were aliens.
Yep.
We'll keep going after that. Okay, so far, aliens did the first two. Let's see how many of the 10 were aliens. Or space dinosaurs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spinosaurs. Space dinosaurs, aren't they?
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But this is quite interesting. I'm sure you most people would do, or some other people.
Stop putting yourself down, buddy. You're a good guy.
Thank you.
You're doing good, mate.
The Michael Myers mask in Halloween has a fascinating backstory.
Yeah, I do know this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just pretend you don't.
Go on, tell me.
See, now I've caught your interest. Thank you. The former horror movie villain comes from surprisingly innocent roots.
No.
When shooting the original 1978 film, production designer Tommy Lee Wallace picked up 2 masks from a Hollywood Boulevard magic shop.
Oh, Tommy.
A clown mask and a William Shatner as Captain Kirk in Star Trek.
Not Captain Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just took Kirk's face and sprayed it white.
I've not got to that bit yet.
Sorry, they sprayed it green.
Well, Tommy came in with a clown mask and went on, "Oh, that's kind of scary." Then put it on the Shatner mask, and we stopped dead and said, "That's perfect." Actor Nick Castle told the New York Times. They spray painted it white, made the eye holes bigger, and the rest is spine-tingling history. So next time you are watching any of the Halloween films, look at the mask and think, shit, that's William Shatner with bigger eyes and white. So he's anemic, but with like no eyes.
Yeah, he's surprised and anemic. He's like, oh my god.
So
my god.
Oh my god, I'm going to kill you.
Yes.
And yeah.
I wonder if Shatner's ever got any pennies out of that.
I don't know.
It's his face in like 20 movies. You think he would get a couple of quid, right?
Yeah.
He should do, right?
Technically, because did he give permission? I don't know. That's one.
Well, I mean, obviously it was a certified master, I assume, but then that probably doesn't cover movie use. I don't know.
No.
I'll give him a shout.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call.
Well, what we'll do is we'll hashtag him in on this one.
Yeah, well, that's a good
hashtag William Shatner. Was that your face that you knew of was being used, and did you get any money? / Jennifer Aniston, we're still waiting for your comeback. Thank you.
Yeah, I've had the back and forth with her on email, so I'll CC you in.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's sending a lot of pictures. A lot.
Yeah.
Needy bitch. Number 3, Lost City of Atlantis.
I know this one.
Now,
spray painted white.
Spray painted white.
Yeah.
William Shatner's face. Yeah. Now, what do you know about Atlantis?
Not much. I've heard of it, and I've seen lots of parody things on films and programs, and Yes, but I don't know the actual true facts about
So
it.
I'm going to read what is largely, this is just a little schmoogle I've got together. So, first mentioned by the Greek philosopher Plato in around 360 BC, Atlantis was described as a powerful and technologically advanced civilization that vanished into the sea in a single day and night. Many believe that this was a real place, possibly a highly advanced society that was destroyed by a natural disaster like a volcanic eruption or tsunami. Now, there's loads of theories and lots of locations have been proposed, but its existence remains unconfirmed. The problem is that Plato was telling a story, and Plato famously used analogies, and he would basically like give you like a made-up example to make a point, and that's what he did all the time. So it's almost and there's no record of Atlantis before or after. They just reference Plato's original. So this one guy made up a story, and it's been repeated and repeated and repeated, and like thousands of people have spent millions and millions of pounds and years of their lives, maybe their whole lives, trying to find a thing that it's like if you told him back in 380 BC, like they're going to be doing that, he'd be like, oh no, why'd you do this? I know he's Greek, I don't know, that's not quite right, is it? But still, he would not have been down for that. And I just think it's kind of one of these things, it's like, yeah, it's obviously not real. I mean, there certainly are old civilizations. If you watch old, what the fuck is it?
Crystal Maze of the Aztec Zone.
Nearly. It's that, is it Ancient Civilizations or something? I think it's Ancient Civilizations with Graham Hancock. It's a show on Netflix. Yes, Cock's in the name, well done. But yeah. I just didn't expect you to like that. It's a legit name. Hancock's a real name. Anyway, I've read his books as well. He's a.
You just punched my flu jab. Sorry.
I thought you were getting it tomorrow.
No, I've got a COVID jab tomorrow. I had a flu jab today.
How many jabs do you get?
I get all the pricks.
Nice. It's probably why your throat's so sore. yeah, there we go. They call him the Gargler. The Gargler. Here he yums it down.
Oh dear, that's so going to be a ringtone. Yeah. Anyway,
Atlantis wasn't aliens, wasn't anything. It was just a story. Calm fuck down. And Graham Hancock's full of shit. Again, I used to read his books and I was like, it's interesting. His theories are interesting, but what he does is he does this thing where he goes like, wouldn't it be cool if this, and this were true? And there might be. And you're like, yeah, there might be. And then he'd go, and supposing that's true, then he'll use the thing that might be true as an example, and then he'll build off the back of that, and then eventually it'll be like fucking, aliens and wizards and fucking magic. It's like, dude, how did you get to that? You just jumped off. He'll like use possibilities as concrete facts, and the further he gets down this conclusion rabbit hole, the less likely it is to be true, because he's got no stable foundation for any of his fucking theories. And it's just, you watch the show, and if you can watch that and it's not patently obvious what he's doing, I think you need to rethink some shit, because it's just like, come on guys, he's a bit of a and it's interesting, it's fun, but it's entertainment. Please don't think it's real. And even if he's right, he just fluked it. But Atlantis, no, sorry. That said, there definitely are civilizations which fell into the sea over the years, but just that particular one was made up.
So you're saying that this made up thing,
yes,
has potentially, people think could have been real?
Yes. Because
some of that was made up. So technically, in the future, people could think that dragons were real, and they go to humans' houses, and a cat called Travis would fend them off. Because if that was a story that I'm in the middle of publishing, but just saying, people in the future, if they find that, they might think that's true.
Difference is, this was definitely made up because Plato said as much, and dragons definitely do exist, and they obviously are going into your kitchen and stealing stuff. That's a fact. I mean, that's as much a fact as anything can be a fact.
So if people in the future see a book called Travis and the Dragons, published by James Starks, they might take that for granted and think that might be real.
Well, it's basically a documentary in book form.
Wow, I'll just say keep your eyes on the Amazon book sales in future, because that might be a thing.
I mean, you can't spell non-fiction without fiction.
Exactly.
Truest fact. Tell me some horror shit, come on.
Trick or treat was not necessarily the original phrase children would use and
Live
shout
or die.
out. What?
I don't know. Live or die. I don't know.
So we've got trick or treat's a purge. Love it. Instead, kids would allegedly yell, Belschneckel,
Belschneckel.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Historians argue that the modern call originated from Belschnecking, a German-American Christmas tradition where kids dressed in costumes and went around their neighbours to see if they could guess the identity of those who were dressed up. In some versions, if the adults could accurately guess, the children were rewarded with treats and goodies.
Belschneckel.
Ah, you young Gute from Town Road, yeah? Oh, it is, that is true. Have a candy. Have a mint chocolate. Oh, thank you. Belschneckel indeed.
Dankeschön.
Again, sorry if I've offended our German listeners. Sorry, listener, maybe.
No, Germans have still got some. It's alright. We've still got some rope to pull on that. They've got a while before they can feel butthurt about anything.
Yeah. Belschneckel.
Belschneckel.
But that's them.
I think that's the thing. You can make fun of them because they're white and they're economically prosperous, and because they're a big enough country, they're not ever going to be a minority. So you can totally rip it out of Germans.
Belschneckel.
But you can't do that about other smaller groups.
No.
Because you know.
Yeah.
Plus, they killed so many Jews.
Let's get to your next fact. Oh no.
I'm sorry. Was that too soon? Didn't you know? Anyway, the Voynich manuscript. Okay? The Voynich manuscript is a mysterious... I'm sorry for pronouncing that wrong.
No, I think...
Voynich. The Voynich manuscript is a mysterious, undeciphered book dating back to the 15th century, written in an unknown script and filled with bizarre illustrations of plants, astronomical diagrams and human figures. Despite extensive study by cryptographers, linguists and codebreakers, no one has ever been able to interpret its language or purpose. Some believe it might be an elaborate hoax, others believe it contains real knowledge lost to time. Because there were a lot of books back then that were copied from previous books, so even though the book itself is 15th century, a lot of books from that era were copied from earlier books. So they basically recopied every century or two. So there's no way of knowing how old the original might have been. But the problem is, they thought it might be a hoax, but back in the 15th century, only certain people, generally speaking, the sort of the wisest and most trained of people, quite a lot of people in the church. But back then, being in the church meant something.
Yeah.
You had to be the best and the brightest to be a member of the clergy, because you have to be able to speak multiple languages and do all this shit. And then after the Black Death, that basically fucked it, because they had to go, because they had to do last rites to all the people who were dying of the plague. All the clergy went to do that, and they all died. So as much as it was like 1 in 6 people died of the plague, 1 in 3 of the clergy died of the plague. So they had to basically, we need to refill the ranks. So they just started letting in any old cunt. So literally, first of all, it was make sure your dad's not a nobody, and then after a while, it was just fill the people. We need more priests.
Yeah. So
they started letting in bloody idiots, morons, and pedos, and that's why we are today. So I'm upsetting you today.
No. I think it's just hard because there's always the that kind of makes sense, because when you look at the old jokes, the Vickers and the Choir Boys and stuff, if that's prevalent for what was going on at the time all the time, it sort of makes sense that that's...
They used to be that's where scholars would go. They would join the priesthood to go and they would... It wasn't necessarily even about the God side of it. It was about... Because science and God were very working in tandem most of the time. Most of the early scientists were religious scientists, Christian scientists. A lot of the early discoveries about the universe and how the Earth's planets go around the sun and everything, that was discovered by priests, and then they all bloody got killed because they were we need to do last rites, and they all died. All the smart ones died, and they had to get in. Had to fill all the spaces with big nasty pedos. So and nowadays it's just a fucking full-on nonce factory. But that's just obviously that's definitely what it is.
Preaching the herd.
Yeah. But my point was though, for the priest bashing, was that to write a huge manuscript that was a hoax was an incredibly huge amount. You had to have someone who was trained to do this, they had to come up with an entirely fake language. All these diagrams were entirely original creations, and they have to do that in a way that was easily repeatable as well, like by other people. And it's just like, you have to have probably a member of the clergy doing this, or someone again who's very well trained. And also, like, manuscript pages weren't like, you know, you can't just go down Wilco and buy some paper. Well, you can't Wilco anymore, but you couldn't go down to like Staples has gone to a supermarket and buy some paper and just write it down. Like, they quite often, they were, you know, is vellum or something, it was expensive. So was ink, so were pens. So it was a huge, like, it would be a hell of a hoax to do if you were going to do it. So a lot of people did assume this was legitimate and did come from an earlier source, but it's completely unknown language, completely unknown diagrams, and there was lots of shit they can't decipher, and there's some weird shit in that. I've seen some of the pictures, it's fucking bizarre. So, who knows?
Would it not just be like Pig Latin or something? I can translate that shit.
You haven't looked at it yet. Maybe I'll show it to you and you'll be able to crack it. I mean, the greatest minds haven't been able to, but, you know, AI will sort it out, don't worry.
Elahayande.
Oh, that's probably it, yeah, well done. Good job, mate, well done.
That's hello down in Pig Latin.
I'll put a nice little hat on you and you'll have a nice time, okay?
Yes!
Here's a lollipop, well done.
Lollipop, 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 lollipop.
Boom, boom, boom.
Halloween holidays. The Halloween holiday dates back more than 2,000 years.
2,000 years?
2,000 years. Halloween, Halloween is even older than Christianity itself. It all started as a pre-Christian classic festival called Samhain, which means summer's end. Held in the beginning of November, the feast recognised the last day of the fall harvest and spirits crossing over, since they believed the veil between the living and the spirits would grow. Between the living and the spirits world grew thinnest at that time. People in Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France used to ward off ghosts by lighting sacrificial bonfires and, you guessed it, wearing costumes to trick the spirits. This is all according to history.com.
Yeah.
I'd
heard sort of similar things. Then a lot of the things we know about Halloween being evil and stuff was construed by the by the church to sort of because a lot of the pagan festivals that they stole, the Christianity stole or like plagiarized, they would like slag off and sort of make out like how evil Halloween is, or Samhain, and then replace it with other festivals and stuff. Same with like Christmas, as obviously that was an existing festival. So was Easter.
Bunnies.
Well, that's why bunnies and eggs and shit are still, standard, because they're not in the Bible. Jesus didn't die on a cross because the bunny got him. What a movie that would have been.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm Bunnyfoot.
Oh my God, where did you come from? I killed you. You didn't kill me enough, motherfucker.
Oh, can I have guns?
Jesus fucks up a bunny. Nah, he uses like a bit of a splint of wood off the fucking cross. He just fucking shanks the shit out of this rabbit.
Oh no!
He's like, oh my God, you're killing me.
That sounds like bull slap butt rape then.
It's a different time.
Oh, they call it a shank.
Yeah. I'd call it a bunny wank. I don't know. It's very dark, and definitely in the Bible. Moving forward, very sacrilegious today. I'm very disappointed with you, James.
I'm sorry. I've had a little drinky too.
You've had a drinky too,
yeah.
have you? I have too. I was having a nice little sit down, have a little sit, a little relax. I cleaned this room up, didn't I? It's a bit nicer today.
You've done going back to what we were saying earlier on about the whole cleaning and the housemaid stuff. Excuse me.
I did this in a quite short amount of time as well. Obviously, it's full of all my family's crap, because we like collecting board games. You see, we like collecting board games way more than we like playing board games. Although I do enjoy a board game. There's a few that I don't. There's a few that I'm like, fuck that. Like Monopoly can just fuck right off.
No, Monopoly, no. There's no end to it.
I need so much whiskey to just enjoy Monopoly. It's such a fucking awful... Like, whoever made that is a piece of shit. I think, isn't it Colonel Sanders? That's what he looks like.
The little guy on the Monopoly board with a white suit.
He's
and
like,
stuff.
I gave you chicken and I gave you Monopoly. It's like, you motherfucker. It's
That reminds me
you're
of-
lucky you gave me chicken, otherwise...
I've still got 3 games. I think they're in my car as well. They're like the murder mystery game things, like the ones that we've done
we need
before.
to do them, we need to do them.
2 of them, and the other one's called Nachos, and it's like a board game.
Can we do another murder mystery?
I've got 2 of them.
Let's book it in.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That was so fun. Let's get fucked up and drink. Let's get some wine, some bottles of wine, and we'll solve crimes. We could be like fucking pissed up Sherlock.
Wine crime.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Right.
We'll record it. We'll record it. Yeah.
War of the Worlds.
Yes.
That's not H.G. Wells, was it? Who was it?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. There's me thinking, oh, it's the fucking.
He wrote the book. The chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1. Boom, boom. But still they.
Everyone around the world's going to go, oh no, they're coming again. Don't they?
It's like.
But we could do it. We could broadcast it as, welcome to Whiskey, Wine and Wisdom. There's been a murder.
A murder!
And then they don't know.
No.
They don't know. These listeners, both of them, don't know that we're actually.
Fucking idiots. They don't know nothing, do
No,
they?
I know, right?
That's why we spew all these facts in their faces.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. Number 5. You ready?
Number 5.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
All right. Bermuda Triangle is a region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean,
Yeah.
bounded by points in Bermuda, weirdly enough, Florida, and Puerto Rico. Over the years, numerous ships and airplanes disappeared in this area under mysterious circumstances. Some attribute the vanishings to natural phenomena like magnetic anomalies, underwater methane eruptions, or human error. The region's reputation for strange occurrences remains unexplained. Now, broadly speaking, it does have a higher than average rate of weird shit and things going missing. But tidally, there's lots of weird shit goes on in the area. Like there's really weird currents. There are methane explosions. Like planes have gone and been hit by like updrafts of methane, and like some have survived and some have just like, oh, Phil's plane disappeared, and they're like, yeah, he probably didn't make it. There's lots of weird shit's happening in the area, and there's some weird. Apparently, there's like some areas of it where like primitive radar wouldn't work in certain areas. So there was some weird shit. It's also off most of the main shipping lanes. There's not many shipping lanes that cross through there. So if you do end up in there, it's probably because you fucked up. Like things aren't going well if you end up there. So it's quite reasonable that things might carry on going badly for you. You know. So there's a bunch of reasons, but the more I read about it, the more I'm like, this isn't actually that weird. Like, because turns out the sea is fucking really, really terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm like proper scared of the sea.
It scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, like weirdly, like on a boat, I'm weirdly at peace for some reason. But the idea of it scares me way more than like if I'm at the beach or something. I don't mind getting out a bit deep. I don't mind that. But when I think about it later, it gives me the shivers, mate. Like I've done that a bunch of times where I've gone out swimming and I'm like, I'm out really deep, and now I think back afterwards, I'm like, oh, the idea of it.
It's like me. I'm a big puss fan. When it comes to any sort of travel, airplanes, fuck, boats, nah. The thing with the airplanes is that if something happens, you're fucked. You're going down. You're coming back from that. That scares me. The thing with a boat is you're not guaranteed that you're going to die.
That's
but if something happens, it's like you could just be hurt a lot, and nothing's going to happen. I think I'd rather go bang smash done, game over.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's entirely it. Now the idea that like on a boat or the boat sinking, I'm like, that's the worst thing ever. The plane, I think I've been on a bunch of planes. I've been on a bunch of boats actually, but every time I'm on a plane, I'm like, I'm so not in control of this, and I am so wrapped around in. I know that it's statistically one of the safest forms of travel. I also know there's huge amount of safety checks. I also know that I'm wrapped in science and it all makes sense, and I can get my head around that. I'm like, I can just go limp and just, oh, it's fine. I can fall asleep on a plane, no worries. I find it harder on roads. I'm less trustworthy because I know that there's traffic on roads and it takes one dickhead and in the sky it's a bit less of a concern.
And we have just watched the beginning scene of Final Destination 2.
We did. And all it takes is one dickhead. I never drive behind a lorry full of logs.
No.
Just don't do that. I mean, just go pull over a lane. Which problem? Or drive an American car, apparently, because they are death traps and they all explode on the slightest impact. Every one of those cars exploded. They're just like fucking fireballs on wheels. Anyway, but that's not my point. But yeah, in a plane, I'm at the whim of the pilot and the sky and the science and all that. You know, I'm just, yeah, sure. On a boat, you're just chugging along, and there's very much the idea that I'm like, there's this thousand, like you're on a ferry or something, right? Those things weigh tens of thousands of tons. You're floating on a rough, incredibly rough bit of sea. If you're on a channel or something, right? It's famously a bit of a fucker. And the water out there is deep as shit, and it's grey, and it's death. It's just fucking wet death. And you've got this tiny, I know they have massive engines, but they're just these tiny little turbines comparatively, compared to the power of the sea. And you're just like, you're like a balloon that's just puffing a little bit of air, just hoping, I'll just aim in that direction, I'll get there eventually, it'll be alright. And like, you can't really react to anything in any kind of real time. If there's a boat, you're like, oh quick, I'll steer left, and then you have to hope that it catches up, the rudder turn catches up with it's all in slow motion. It's like, this is crazy. It's amazing how effective we are on boats, really, considering, I mean, like the English Channel, apparently the whole bottom of it is just littered with boats. Like, because over the years it's one of the most busy waterways in the world, and it's just, yeah, it turns out Sinktown, it's just full of fucking boats.
Boo.
Yeah. So I think I'm more pro plane than boat. That was a fucking tangent. I apologise, but me and Triangle can't fuck down, because you probably will never ever fly or drive there anyway.
Yeah.
Drive there, boat. I don't know. Sail there.
Train on the water and boat on a track.
All right. Go on in, Cranky. Actually, can I top up my drink quickly? I'm gonna have a quick pause. We'll be right back in 3, 2.
Dan has gone to get a drink. I'm still here. James is cool. James is the best. Yeah. James Cast.
Oh, that's cool.
Feet. Now that I have your attention, have you got feet? Do you find it difficult to find footwear that is the right size and width? If you struggle like me, then you need Footy Flappy Pads. Footy Flappy Pads are custom made for every person, by every person. All you need to do is put your foot on the Flappy Flapple pad and then draw around it with the Footy Flapple pad supplied Footy Flapple pen. Cut your foot shape with the Footy Flapple Pad's supplied Footy Flapple scalpel. Next step,
Oh, nice.
is to apply the Footy Flapple Pad's supplied Footy Flapple adhesive to your cut-out foot shape and stand on it.
Okay.
Then, hey presto, in just 24 hours, you will have a permanent Footy Flapple Pad attached for life. You are now a Footy Flapple Pad Flippy Flapple person with a Flippy Flapple feet.
What the fuck is happening?
Tell us you heard of us from the Whiskey, Wine and Wisdom podcast, and we will send you, I don't know, some sort of Footy Flapple shit stuff, you know. So remember, Footy Flapple. Shit, I'm not saying this crap anymore. Fuck this shit.
The fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, Dan doesn't know how to edit anything, so he would never have checked if James had recorded something while Dan wasn't here. Oh yeah, sorry. 1. Carrying on. Fucking hell, I can't leave you alone, you cunt. Alright, who did the last fact? Was that you or me? I can't remember now.
That was you, Bermuda Triangle / boat rant.
Boat rant. Boaty rant. These are important issues. I'm glad we're airing this shit out. People at home are thinking, finally someone's talking about boat fear. So, to clarify, you don't like any transport?
I'm not mad keen on anything that I'm not in control of. I don't like it, especially planes. I'm like B.A. Baracus. Ain't no fool gonna give me on a damn aeroplane.
What if I just gave you some chill pills?
It's like when I've been on a plane a couple of times. Well, more than a couple of times. But last, I went on once with Katie when we go to France to see family and things. I did not want to sit next to the window, and Katie's like, I want a window, I want a window, I want a window. I'm like, fill your boots. Love it. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like looking out the window and seeing how far I could die from.
Oh, mate, I remember going gliding when I was like 14, 15, and you get to a certain height, because like when you, for full 10 foot, I'm really hurt myself. Then you look down, you're like, it's 500 foot. You're like, doesn't matter now. Like, you past a certain point, you might as well be looking at the Earth from space. You're like, well, I'm definitely dead. I'm dead 100 times over at this height. So, if I can have some, let's go for it. And I remember I was doing that, and it was like, I was at like 5,000 foot. I'm looking down, and like fields of these little squares on the floor, and I'm flying, and I'm in a glider. There was no engine, just flooping around. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Landings are shit. Landing's scary, but when you're up there, it's just it's fun.
Would you like a Halloween fact?
I would fucking love one, mate. Stop me talking my shit. Come on.
So, did you know? So people think.
Sorry.
It's like a little hiccup thing then.
No, like, do you know the really? I just go.
My eyes become white and you're probably
sorry, go on.
me here.
Baby! Shut up, fucking up.
Children are asleep.
Yeah, alright.
Sorry.
Did I know? Please, I'll shut up this time. I'm sorry.
Peak.
We did, it was a bit sexy.
Yeah. So, Halloween, one of the things you'd think of Halloween, black cats. Scary as fuck, apparently. Bad luck.
I've only liked black cats. But go on.
Do you know where that thing actually come from?
Well, it's the witch's familiar thing, but I don't know where that came from. Go on.
No, because even the witches were scared of them. It was actually folklore that no one actually liked them. So, like with the black cats, it's like witches would actually fear from them, but the cats would actually be clinging to them. That's why they was always seen on like their broomsticks and stuff like they see in cartoons. But the actual fact actually come from ancient times, even before then, before Halloween was even around. Because what the cats would do is they was used to cause people bad luck. They would say, don't turn the cracks and stuff like that. But whenever there was a black cat, something would happen. Like, I don't know, like a rat or something would come along. Hence why they like to catch rats and things. That was all like a fear and yeah. I'm sorry. I've tried sounding clever. I have no facts on black cats.
Was that all winged?
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, you weren't reading off your phone at all, so I was curious. I was like, but yeah, mate, you done good.
Yeah. No.
Pulling out your arse, that wasn't too bad.
My real fact.
That was your fake fact. Oh, mate.
Yeah.
I just joked that we should do a fake fact just to see if anyone's listening. And he did, and I was totally invested. I was like, really? Really?
For you guys.
Oh.
This is more of like an American thing as well. So, immigrants helped popularise a holiday in America. When the Irish fled the potato famine that devastated their country in the 1840s, they brought their Halloween traditions with them. The celebration spread across the country until Massachusetts Halloween pranksters reached an all-time high in the 1920s. Some believed community-based trick-or-treating became popularised in the 1930s as a way to control many pranksters. The Irish also brought us jack-o'-lanterns. I love this guy's name.
Shamerton.
Not too far. No, it is. As the story goes, an Irishman named Stingy Jack, Stingy, Stingy Jack, tricked the devil and therefore was not allowed into heaven or hell. So he spent his days roaming the earth carrying a lantern. Hence the name Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern. That's too many facts then.
Too many. That was a true fact.
Yeah, again, lots of this stuff's from like the history.com and stuff like that.
That's good, man. Jack-o'-lantern. Makes sense now. Never thought about it before.
And his name was Stingy Jack. I love it.
Steamy Jack. Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack. Honestly, I need to get my glasses sorted out.
I thought you got some new ones.
Yeah, I have done, but I swear, I can do... Oh, yeah. They're like distance. I need to get reading... I've got to that age, I need to get fucking reading glasses, haven't I?
Bifocals, mate.
That's fine. This one here...
Dude, you're proper grannying it.
Yeah. Come here, I give you a word.
He's holding his phone at arm's length.
I've got short arms though.
He has charms.
Charms.
He's a charmy kebab.
I got from some fucking seasoning from
Seasoning.com.
season.com or a orange-based supermarket retailer place. It's Breeze. It's a bit breezy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the shawarma seasoning. That stuff's fucking delicious. Honestly.
Yeah.
I recommend getting shawarma seasoning. Cool. Fact me.
On June 30th, 1908,
1908.
a enormous, fucking enormous explosion occurred near the Tunguska River in Siberia, flattening 770 square miles of forest.
Shit.
Flattening it, right? The explosion is believed largely to be caused by an airburst of a meteoroid or comet, but no impact crater was ever found, and the exact cause is still to this day debated. Some speculate it was a natural event, while others propose more exotic theories like a black hole, alien intervention, or an experiment gone wrong. Now, this is 1908, so I don't believe there was any scientific... There was no one making nukes that time. There's no... but basically, no one was in the area. There were some people who heard it, like miles and miles and miles away. There was, I think, in 150 miles away in a major Russian city, I can't remember what city it was, a load of windows got blown out on the day, and they were like, what the fuck was that? And they had no idea.
Did you say there was no crater?
There was no crater. So what they think happened was, this is the most accepted theory, is that there was a fuck off huge meteor was flying down towards Earth, and out of pure fucking luck it went to Tunguska River, which is like hundreds of miles from any civilization centre, and it was breaking up, burning in the atmosphere as it was landing, and it reached a fracture point where it basically got so hot that the contents fractured and exploded, like hundreds of feet up in the air, and that's why a heat blast just flattened 770 square miles of river and trees. Like, so if you look at it, there's trees flattened all out from a central point. Like they just literally flattened on their sides in an enormous like circle. So they're like, well, something fucking happened, but there was no record of it. No one saw it happen. Now, obviously, people might have got killed by it, because if you went anywhere near it, you would have died, definitely. Probably got inhalated. But and again, it's largely expected that must have been the only thing that fits the facts is, but there's no real precedent for it, and there's no real... And again, it's one of these things where, like, the size of this meteor hitting, had it hit the Earth, it would have fucking, you know, it would have been a huge... Must have been a big piece of rock, and it's so lucky it exploded in the air, because if it had hit, we might still be in the Ice Age now. You know, it could have been one of these, like, not necessarily an extinction level event, but we have no idea. We don't know what it was. All we know, it was big enough to do that much damage from in the air, and we know it was in the air because there's no impact crater.
Yeah.
And they've done, obviously in present day, they've done, at the time, it wasn't until I think a year later, some dude was travelling around it, and he's like, what the fuck happened? Because by that point, a lot of stuff's growing back, but all the trees are still felled. He's like, there's like tens of thousands of flattened trees over miles and miles and miles. As far as you can see, he's like, what happened? He has no idea what the fuck happened. And it's only like with when planes started going over the top, they're like, well, we can see something happened of an enormous scale at this time. And now they looked over it with digital thermal imaging and stuff. They can see like there's no impact crater, there's no central point, even though they can see the trees did fall over in a certain pattern. So that was Tunguska.
Surely they could see more though if they went on tiptoes. You could always see more if you got on tiptoes.
Well, I assume they have some ladders and stuff, but it's like they have planes, mate, which is the ultimate tiptoes.
Excuse me.
I believe the first plane was called the Tiptoe.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's one of my actual facts, but...
I'm sorry, I didn't think it was Howling related. I thought I was a safe one there.
That's right, I won't bother about it now. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's
Well, the Wright brothers called their first plane a Tiptoe.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the wings were made of frog skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ribbits. Radio silence.
Very good.
Sorry.
Very good.
Halloween.
How was their plane held together with ribbits? That's fucking brilliant. Alright. Honestly, though, most of our facts are facts.
Yeah.
But if you can spot the fake ones, you get a prize.
Ribbits and black cats.
Yeah.
The Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead. Sorry, my voice is... The Day of the Dead.
See, that comes in. The Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos,
Dia de los Muertos,
takes place on October the 31st through to November the 2nd. See, I've always heard of Dias de los Muertos and stuff like that. It's just like in films and like the new release of the Crow film, which I've still not seen, but I'm not too fussed off now.
I've got it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I haven't watched it yet.
No, it's alright, don't worry.
Have you watched it?
No.
Do you want it?
Shits and giggles I might do at some point, but again,
it's probably fine. Like
yeah.
the first one, I'm not one of these people who thought the first one was like some holy fucking thing that can't be possibly touched.
I loved that film. From what I remember, I actually loved that first Crow film. But then when I was excited, there's a new Crow film come out, and then you were saying about it, and I rewatched it. The original's like, yeah, that's not actually as fun as I remember.
Because the thing is, the guy who made that a couple of years made Dark City. I think it was 98. He made that in 94. And Dark City is a much better film, and no one saw it. And The Crow's like, yeah, it's fine. It was atmospheric as fuck. It's a really moody film, but it's just a bit wanky. But Dark City is a great film, and no one saw it. I'm like, it always struck me as like, that's a much better film than The Crow, and yeah, no one knew. I'm like, oh man. Anyway, sorry.
So the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, takes place on October the 31st through to November the 2nd in Mexico.
Mexico, I believe they call it.
In Mexico.
Sorry. And
a few other Hispanic countries. The occasion honours children that died, and their family members decorate graves with the babies, with baby's breath and white orchids.
Oh yeah. That's a flower, baby's breath.
Well, okay. When your mother-in-law does florist stuff and your wife likes lots of flowers, baby's breath is also called gypsophilia. Baby's breath is more of an easy way to remember it. So if you see those little white bits on your plants, your flowers, and people say baby's breath, say thank you. I like to call it gypsophilia. The more you know. I
don't like either of those names, to be honest.
No, I know, right?
Baby's breath is creepy, and gypsophilia sounds like a bunch of different things I don't want to talk about right now.
But I'm so proud that I remembered that, because that's what we had at the I think it's when we was having our flowers sorted out for a wedding, and I learnt it then. And again, if anything I got from that wedding, right? Anything I got from a wedding, that thing, you know, I now know what gypsophilia is.
Ironically, it took your wedding to happen for you to become a full gay.
I know, right? I know, right?
Delicious irony. Sorry.
Oh dear.
I misheard irony there.
That's just fine. Anyway, so with baby's breath and white orchids. On November the 2nd, families on adults who have died and place orange marigolds and others on grave sites. So it's like two celebrations that time of year.
A lot of flowers, mate.
Well, there's the first one, 31st, lots of white things, and then the other ones like the orangey yellow things.
Did you?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. My birthday was first actually, so that's actually about right.
Yeah.
I am Day of the Dead the man.
True fact. Look that up. That was actually one of my facts as well. But again,
I am the Day of the Dead.
You are the inspiration for it, and the
incarnate. Okay, interesting. I may be a superhero.
That'd be freaking awesome if you're an actual superhero.
Or Dead Day Man.
That's pretty hardcore.
DDM.
Oh no, it's DDM. Oh, I'm gonna steal something from the shop. Oh no, quick, DDM's here. No, run away. I'm not scared of DDM.
Well, spat flowers at them. Stop doing this, I will get you.
So you turn French and you spat flowers. Now.
I was weirdly going to go for like a Mexican accent. I just totally went French.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Y the flowers.
I roll my tongue. That's the only safe way. It's the only safe way.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Right, Down of the Dead. Come.
The Mystery of Oak Island. Oak Island, located off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, has been the site of the treasure hunting expedition since the late 18th century.
Eh?
The island's money pit is believed by some to contain pirate treasure, religious artifacts, or valuable documents. Despite numerous digs and countless resources expended, no definitive treasure has been found. Only mysterious artifacts, tunnels, and traps that deepen the mystery. Many theories suggest connections to the Knights Templar or the Freemasons. Now, there is a series on the History Channel about Oak Island, and literally hundreds of expeditions of people digging there, and they've dug incredibly deep, like hundreds of feet deep, and they keep finding, like, we found these layers of cloth at 150 foot deep, and I'm like, sorry, no, some fucking pirate with a shovel has dug 150 foot to put a layer of cloth above another 150 foot of, like, they're digging so deep. I'm like, I think you're in the wrong spot, cunt. Like, I think you're digging in the wrong area. I was listening to, like, the breakdown of it. It's like, I'm sorry, mate. If you dig for that deep, 150 foot is so deep. Like, they had to have all this incredibly, like, crazy mine equipment. I'm like, you're talking about pirate treasure. Like, they're off their tits on rum. They're like, let's bury our treasure in the island. They're not going to be like, okay, we have to dig for the rest of our lives to bury treasure. They only bury treasure for like a minute so they could fuck off and, like, okay, we definitely didn't steal it. We haven't got it, see, governor, we haven't got nothing. And then they'd be like, okay, I guess you haven't. And then they go back and get it. They didn't leave it there. You know, there's probably one or two occasions where they'd hide it, go on the run, get caught, get hung, then it would still be there. But in most cases, pirates hid treasure to go and get it again. I love burying treasure far more than spending treasure on, you know, rum and whores, which they I think primarily wanted to spend their money on, I imagine, you know.
Yeah.
And probably more powerful pirate boats and cannons. They love cannons.
Yeah.
And sabres. And whores. They love whores.
Yeah.
Big fan of whores. You know? So, I don't think there's any treasure there. From what I've heard, if there was going to be, they'd have found it. It's one of the most dug up islands in the world. There's all these treasure. For some reason, everyone's got like a new idea. Oh, it must be over here. And there's like pirate maps that come out over the years, but there's no citation to what they actually. They're like, oh, it must be from this pirate or this pirate, this pirate. There's no record of any pirates. No one fucking knows. It's just for some reason, it's like this Chinese whispers. Sorry.
Telephones. I think that's the expression.
Sure. Oh, fucking hate this world. Fuck this world. You know exactly what I mean with the Chinese whispers, right?
Yeah.
Why is it called Chinese whispers?
I don't know.
I won't even do the fake accent. But you know what I mean? It's like, I imagine that's what it's originally. But yeah, you could just call it whispers or telephones, whatever the fuck, right? It's basically this thing where people have whispered the same thing to each other, and they've perpetuated this idea that there's some pressure on this island. I'm like, mate, you spent millions digging 150 foot deep to find treasure that no pirate could have possibly ever left there. I mean, you're more likely to find dinosaur bones than treasure, which, more power to you, mate, but it probably won't be on the island either. So, yeah, it's, and the stuff they apparently have found down there is like, no, you didn't. Like, you definitely planted that. It's so far down, you did not find pirate linens 150 foot deep. Someone chucked them there for a laugh. Calm down. They're just bellends. Anyway. So Oak Island, another one, but I there's on this list I found, and I was like, and then I read into it, and I was like, that's bollocks. It's just bollocks. But that is still one of the most considered these major mysteries, and there's a 24-part series on his channel. I think it's in the 20s. They just keep going, and they literally have new people going there all the time, digging up stuff, and they take tours and they do all this stuff, and all these like treasure hunters go there, amateur treasure hunters go there, and they go digging. They're like, maybe I'll find me some treasure. But they won't.
We found some more cloth.
They found just previous treasure hunters who have died and been buried on the island, probably. But you got to chuckle.
It's got a label on it. And some bones. What's the label say? Is it Sports Direct? Oh!
God damn it!
Not everyone knows for a fact that if Sports Direct is in the ground for more than a week, that ain't gonna survive. So, yeah.
No, it becomes unstitched and biodegrades. They're made of old fruit That's a true fact.
Bananas.
Bananas on your Kappa bananas.
Oh, Kappa bananas.
Kappa banana.
Halloween folklore is full of superstition and myth. It's not secret that spookiness, mythology and magic take centre stage during Halloween in medieval England. You keep doing it while I'm doing this. Many believe that Halloween was a time when spirits of the dead would cross over into the other world. However,
I'ma fuck you up, boy.
well, in the 19th century, people believe that Halloween was when the spirits of the dead roamed the earth. As a result, people dressed up as the living dead.
I need a piss so bad.
And fake gravestones
I'ma piss myself.
adorn the porches of many houses. Halloween remains full of superstition even today. People still bob for apples and avoid black cats, and some believe that flying bats indicate the presence of ghosts. Ooh.
Spooky.
Wow. That was so chilling. And you wasn't saying anything while I was saying that whole thing, so if anything comes back on the recording, I think that might be evidence that there's ghosts and stuff around.
Absolutely, friend.
Yeah.
I'm only scared for the listeners.
Yeah.
Their delicate ears are haunted by
Because if you listen to this episode, that means you're going to be haunted.
Yeah.
That's the precursor of the episode 31.
All right. So we both like horror films, right?
Yeah.
You scared of ghosts?
Yeah.
Like legit? Like you find?
I kind of believe, but don't believe, that I've had 2 encounters.
Oh, tell me. This is way more interesting than the bullshit facts. All right, go on. Encounters me. Come on. Goes down.
So first fact, I used to work at Fort Amherst. Oh well, no, I done 2 days at Fort Amherst doing one of those
Halloween. Halloween. Yeah.
And we was in this part of the we was doing a mental asylum scene, but it's like these bunk beds at the side, and then we'd be all quiet. Then the lights would go off, and then we'd and rattle and like pretend to be going proper mental. Now, from where I was in a box with a duvet thing over me.
Yes.
And then as soon as the lights go off, I'll do my shit. Now I could see, because there was a corner that people would walk round, and I'd go around the corner, and then I'd be facing a corridor where it would all start. At the end of that corridor, there was like where they would begin. There's like a long sort of drop which comes from like one of the higher places, not the actual roof.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I thought, again, in my mind at the time, I thought there was something there, but when I look back at it, as I am now, I think I'm obviously bullshitting myself. There couldn't have been, because I sort of don't believe it. But at the time, I was shit scared, because I thought I saw something that had come down and was coming towards one of the area that I was at, and I was bricking it. I jumped out of that fucking box. I jumped out, and I was against the wall, and then all the lights come on, and people saw that I was a bit scared, and then we sort of brushed it off after that. So that was that one.
Yeah.
And then the other time I had a bit of a scare, again, I don't know. I worked at the pub. I was working in a pub in Cuxton. And
Which one?
White Hart.
Oh yeah, the Bottom Hill. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went down into the cellar. I can't remember what I was even getting at that point. But it's haunted down there. Because all the spirits.
Oh, very good, very good.
But saying that, there was when you go down, you then go to the left, and there was these metal gate things, which were just closed. They weren't sort of like fully locked unless it's like in the night, and that's where all the spirits and stuff was. It literally was. And I went down. I think it was like almost like a power cutters thing, so it's just like the emergency security lights from. And when I went down there, I swear, the gates, they were forcefully sort of rattled, as if there's again. It's in my mind. I don't know if I was down there, and it was like I didn't see anything. I just heard, and it was like there was someone on the inside sort of shaking it back and forth.
Yeah.
that's what I felt. I shit myself. I went back upstairs very, very calmly. I done like a very sort of straight back walk up, climbed up the little ladder thing at the back of the bar, and came and sat down. I'm not going down there again. That's what I said, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then everyone was. I mean, people have been having drinks. I went to a fucking pub. So people sort of ripped out of me. I don't know if it was like a trick that they could have played on me. I don't know how, because nothing was connected anywhere. But yeah, that frightened me. I look back and thinking about it now, and I doubt it. There couldn't have been anything. There couldn't have been a ghost in there. But they're my two experiences. Didn't like them. I look back and I naysay it.
I can't. Yeah, I remember a couple of things, but things I tend to be like of the mind that if it's something as extraordinary as a ghostly encounter, I'm saying that in a silly way, but like it's something otherworldly, something that doesn't make any kind of sense rationally. I need, for an extraordinary thing to be provable, for my sort of peace of mind, I need extraordinary proof, and I've never had that. And that's the thing that I'm like, well, you could explain most of those things away. It's, like in that instinct, your fight or flight thing kicks in. You're like, fuck this, bye. Yeah. And I think that's like, and then you fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't think what it's likely to be, you think what it might be, and then you run away. And I think that's what most people's encounters tend to be, because I'm like, unless you actually see like a ghost coming for you, go like, I want your soul, or some shit, right? Which I don't think most people have, unless they're mental or lying. And I just think it's like, I just can't think, there's no I can't, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would there be, what the fuck, what is a ghost? Like, why doesn't make any fucking sense to me? But I remember when I was, that said, I should say, but like, when I was, I used to be scared of the dark. Like, not all the time, but like, I used to get quite scared. Now I love the dark, weirdly. I fucking love it. Like, lights go off, I just think of the power saving. I just think, yeah. But yeah, I used to be like, I used to have my door didn't used to fully close, and when it did, it had a square of like opaque glass in it.
Yeah.
So I could just see the blackness of the hole, and it was just bobbly glass.
Yeah.
And I used to see things in it, and I didn't like it. Yeah, you can imagine. And my mum and dad's bedroom door would never close. So when I'd walk past it, there was always a crack of black in the room. So one time I was at home, and it was one of the early times I was home alone. I must have been, I don't know, I was old enough to be left alone overnight, I guess. So I was putting myself to bed for like, I think it was maybe the first time I was left alone. So I must have been 15, 16, must have been, maybe 14, I don't know. It was, it must, I don't know, that's probably the age you get left alone, isn't it? 15. Yeah. So I'm taking myself to bed, and I'm not thinking anything. I was literally just putting myself to bed. I'm going to bed, and my bedroom's at the end of the hall, and I'm past my mum and dad's room. I think my mum's room at that point, and the door's open a crack because it doesn't close all the way. As I walk past it, I hear someone go, Daniel, from the room. And they just say my name, and I was like, and I remember just walking past it, freezing, going, the fuck, and walking into my room, closing the door, getting into bed, and then lying awake all night. Just lying awake. And I was like,
that makes sense.
And I was just like, because I didn't know what to do with that. I'm like, the fuck is that? The fuck is that? And obviously, what's more likely? There was a fucking ghost that called my name, or I was just approaching, I was tired, I was going to bed anyway, I just thought I heard a thing, and my brain at that age filled in blanks. So that was something that I remember just being like, I couldn't make sense of it, and I was trying to think rational about it at the time, but I was terrified. And the other thing, which is a bit of a weirder one, was when I was living with Caroline in our first place in Gillingham, and we had this little lounge in the front of the house, and we were just sitting there, and we had some TV or some shit on, and we were just sitting there in the lounge, and then all of a sudden, I can't even put into words, and so I'm like, all of a sudden everything's wrong. I'm just like, everything is wrong. I can't tell you why, and I'm panicking, and I'm looking around, I'm like, what's happened? Something's gone really wrong. I don't know why, but every part of my brain is screaming like, this is wrong. Like, I don't know, something really bad's happened. I look over at her, and she's staring at me, and she looks panicked. I'm like, what's happened? She's like, I don't know, something's fucked. I'm like, I know. What the fuck? And I couldn't tell you what part of my senses were screaming, but like, it wasn't like I wasn't dizzy, but up and down was wrong and left and right was wrong. Everything was wrong. And she had felt it too, and there was something very wrong. And I've tried my sense of this years later, like, so I thought maybe there's some weird magnetic thing that happened or something, just like, you know, something but we both felt it at the same time, look at each other, sound, without saying a word, both were like, what the fuck is this? And I thought afterwards maybe it was a gas leak or some electromagnetic pulse or some sort of weird, and then literally it was for like 20 seconds, and then it was just fine, everything was fine again, and then we both stood up and we're like, what the fuck was that? Like, we're just like, and we both can't explain it, we both have no idea what that was. And if she'd not been there, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. I would have thought like, oh yeah, I've probably a digestive thing, or I dozed off for a second, or, you know, I could have. But that's something every now and then I'll ask her, like, you remember that? She's like, yes, that was fucked. I'm like, right, go on.
I can explain it.
Oh, please do.
Cork coin.
That wasn't that house, but yeah, I used to have in a cellar at another house. There was a bit of cork with a copper coin wedged in the cork, hanging by a bit of wire in my loft. So if you go in the cellar, it was in the loft of the cellar. So it's hanging off the cellar ceiling, and you go down, you're like, and every time I went down there, anyone go down, they go like, what the fuck is that, Dan? I'm like, I don't know.
I would never fucking touch it.
But it was like, it's always been here, I'm not touching it. And it was just like, I don't believe in any of that shit, but I'm not touching it, you know? It's like, I don't believe in this weird whoopsie gypsy bullshit, right? But I'm not touching that fucking cork. That's yeah. The reason it's there is beyond me, and so is any temptation to move it. But yeah, the Daniel voice, it was just the imagination of a fucking teenager, whatever, right? But the weird wiggly thing in the front room, that's something else.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be a ghost thing. It could just be, it could have been a gas leak. It could have been something stupid like that. It could have been fucking, you know, I don't know. It could have been all kinds of things. It's weird.
Scary
shit. Ooh.
Alright. Talk of scary.
That was Halloween tangent, wasn't it? Go on.
Let me tell you about a song.
Tell me about a song, fuck's sake, come on.
I'm going to say it, and you'll probably know it.
Better.
Monster Mash.
Do the mash.
It's a Monster Mash.
There's a graveyard smash.
The song Monster Mash was once banned by the BBC.
Gaping gash.
The gaping gash.
She had a gaping gash.
Dear, I've not seen that film. Massachusetts singer Bobby Pickett wrote the song in 1962, and interestingly,
she gave me a rash.
Oh no, she had STD.
With a gaping gash. Oh.
It was put together in less than an hour. It's spooky but catchy. However, the BBC did not share that opinion. In the same year it was released, the BBC banned it from the airwaves on the grounds that it was too morbid. It made number 1 on the Billboard charts in 1962 in America. However, the offending hit didn't chart in the UK until 1973, when it reached number 3.
I fucking love that song. I played that the other day because I was putting on Halloweeny songs, and I come on and I was just like, I was walking down the path and I had a nice ride, and then I ate all of my cake and it was a nice ride. It was just like, yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Apologies. But yeah, it's good shit.
Well,
it's merry times. Merry times.
I've got one snippet left.
Oh, I've got a couple, but like, yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned that and it made me remember this thing, because, alright, speaking of, actually it's Christmas, but it doesn't matter. Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo.
Yeah.
So, you said about like the BBC getting the arsehole. When they took South Park, because originally the Spirit of Christmas was the animation they did, and that's what got them the series of South Park off the back of that, right? We all know this. We all know this to be true. So the Spirit of Christmas cartoon had Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo in it, right? But it was mainly about Santa versus Jesus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so they had this little like packet of animation and ideas for a show, and they went to Fox. Fox wanted a meeting, and the head of Fox was like, "You have to get rid of that talking poo. I'm not having a show with a talking poo as the main character. That's ridiculous." And they were like, "You want to go fuck yourself? That's Mr. Hankey. He's great." And they were like, "No." And he literally, they said it was an ultimatum: get rid of the poo or get out of here. So they walked out. They signed with Comedy Central, and they made billions. Now I believe Trey Parker, this is a couple of years ago, was worth like 450 million, and Matt Stone, because he's invested heavily in real estate, is worth north of 650 million. So between them, they got well more than $1 billion, and the South Park as a brand is worth many billions. So good job, Fox. Well done. Always bet on poo.
But if they want to make up for their losses,
Damn it, always bet on brown. That would have made more sense. Sorry.
If they want to make up for their losses for that, if they want to invest in a book about Travis and the Dragons, I mean, just give me a shout.
The media company Fox.
Yep.
That's now owned by Disney.
Yep. They could always do a few more, Bob, couldn't they? They missed out on all those billions from South Park.
They did. It's true.
I'm still here, and I've already got a pre-made book about Angry Box again.
Mate, that could be a brilliant Pixar movie.
I know, right? Pixar. Oh, can we get
I'm just a box.
No. We need
full of anger and hate.
Is it Randy Newman or You've got a box in me, a zippy-doo-doo. You got a box in me.
Didn't Randy Newman? He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh shit! Forgot to say AI. Come on, we could do that. We can
do that.
Yeah.
They can do. Yeah, they can. It's fine.
He's got a wife called Mary Brush, so they're gonna get married, not in a rush, no. They got a box, so kind of had it too. Oh, you.
They don't need Randy Newman.
Yeah.
You got to sweat, mate.
Buy it. I'm here. Buy it now.
1963. The Babushka Lady.
Yeah.
Babushka. During the assassination of President Jonathan F. Kennedy in 1963, an unidentified woman, later dubbed the Babushka Lady, was seen in the film footage wearing a headscarf and holding a camera. Despite the widespread investigation into the events surrounding the assassination, one of the most heavily recorded and just incredibly detailed investigations in all history, the identity of this woman and the possible photographic evidence she captured has never been determined. Some believe she may hold critical information about the event, but she's never come forward and never been identified. They've put out numerous "do you know this woman?" like posters and stuff in the area. No one's ever said, "Yeah, I know that person." And to the point where it's like someone must have known her in America because it was such a huge event. And obviously they were anyone who had, but she was seen in the footage taking pictures at the time of the assassination. So, interestingly as well, within 10 years of the assassination of JFK, nearly 300 people at the site who were at the site had died, which is an insanely high number of people. Because obviously some of them are old boys; they're going to pass away. But there was a huge amount of people who've died of weird circumstances. So that's one of those, because America, like these days, is fairly they're checking themselves. It would be very hard to get a conspiracy working these days because there's too many leaks and there's too much oversight. But back then in the 60s, you could get away with some cheeky shit. So when they offed JFK, and clearly it was an inside job. I mean, clearly it was not. The more you look into the assassination of JFK, it's like the more you're like, you don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to say, yeah, something is not right here. This is pretty fucked. But the Babushka Lady is just an extra level of like, well, she's there taking pictures, and nobody knows her. Nobody knows her, and she's a very distinctive looking lady. Like if you, I'll put a picture up, right? And no one has ever identified her. They've been so many. For God's sake, hang on a sec.
I mean, I've heard of the name, the Babushka.
Well, Babushka is a particular type of lady, but she's there in the footage. There she is there. She's wearing a babushka, which is like a sort of Russian hat, and she's there in the motorcade. She's there she's behind the motorcade there as well. She's in lots of the footage. She's there photographing him, and she goes past, and there she is. She's there photographing him right now.
Yeah.
And he got shot on that corner, just around the corner there. So it's just like, well, she's clearly got some footage. They were like, please come forward, you have footage. And then they put out this appeal and they said, does anyone know this lady? And like, no one knows her? No one came forward, no one ever identified her. I'm like, it was just like such a huge national story, and this person just fully disappeared. And I'm like, when someone fully disappears in that sort of context, it's like, maybe she did have photos, maybe, I don't know. You don't want to go down that path. It's a dangerous, because you start thinking some dark shit.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things that, you know, if you're suggesting that the government offed her or disappeared her or something, that's a pretty extreme, and you need extreme claim, you need extreme evidence. But that whole situation is very, very, very squirrely. It's very like, you know, and there's lots of motivations that people had to get rid of JFK, but we'd hope these times are past. But anyway. America's awash with that shit.
Yeah.
We've got less of it over here, but not none, but less. Anyway, that was just one that I'd seen a lot of, so I thought I'd mention it.
That's fair enough.
And I actually hadn't heard of that before.
No, I've heard of names, but
the babushka is just like, if you search babushka, it's like that's a type of like a Russian headscarfy sort of lady.
Yeah.
They have a particular type of clothes. You like to see that, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a Russian washer lady or something. You just see that and you think that, but that's the look of a babushka. Anyway, carry on. So I got one more.
So the Tower of London is believed to be one of the most haunted places in the UK. So my final Halloween fact takes us to the capital city of London. The Tower of London, one of the most iconic landmarks in the city, is renowned for its chilling reputation and one of the most haunted places in the UK. I mean, they have many of the Halloween nights and festivals, those sorts of things around there, just to put things on and like buy tickets to come on Halloween to the Tower of London, and they give some more scares. But it's just a horrible place to sort of, very scary. So with nearly 1,000 years of history as a royal palace, fortress and prison, there's no surprises that the tower carries a heavy dose of ghostly legends and eerie tales. So I mean, that's, again, you can look things up online about it and who's there then died.
It's a bit spooky, isn't it?
A little bit spooky. Yeah, so
it's one of those places where you know so much shit's fucking happened. It's just you can't ignore. I always think that place in all the different forts we've got around near our way. We got all these forts, and in most cases nothing happened at any of them. But Fort Amherst did. Yeah. And that's why you sort of, your brain fills in the blanks. You're like, I know shit happened here, and then that makes it so much more. And that one in the mental asylum. Fort Clarence.
Oh yeah.
Because that was because that was an asylum for the criminally insane. So you're like, so people who've done horrible shit because they're insane went there, and this was Victorian times, so they weren't going there to be cuddled. They were going there to be electrocuted and dunked underwater and all kinds of horrible shit. You know, House on Haunted Hill type shit.
Need to see that. See, the bit that freaks me out with that is when a person does that stagger walks, looks at the camera, goes, does the whole head shake thing. That whole imagery is like
it's very effective, that film. Yeah. Sorry about my coffee then. I'm still getting my voice back. Sorry, guys. I've been
doing lots of little gas burps as well, so this has been a noise. I'm
sorry if you've got any kind of ear sensitivity. We've been a bunch of cunts tonight. I'm sorry. I could edit it all out, but I'm not gonna. Let's just be fair on that. I'm not gonna. I mean, we edit out some stuff. We don't. Not really.
We put a beep in one of them once.
We did. We beeped as well. I don't know why. Considering the amount of times I've said cunt. But listen,
beep.
The important thing is
too late. Sorry.
Thank you for trying. All right, 3, 2, 1, cunt. Beep. Okay. The professionalism here is just shocking. No, the important thing is, we love you guys and we thank you for listening. I've got one more, and are you all done now?
One more fight.
You got one more after this.
No, I'm done.
Oh, you see,
I'm just doing your one. Sorry.
It was a fair question.
That's the new theme.
All right.
Whenever we've got one fact that's between us.
Now this, I've seen the movie of this. Okay, which was heavily not accurate, so it doesn't matter. The Dyatlov Pass incident.
So one more time.
Dyatlov. Dyatlov.
Yeah, the spelling doesn't help.
Sorry, coughing again. Dyatlov. Dyatlov?
Yeah.
Dyatlov, maybe?
I know nothing of this one, but say.
In Russian, in February 1959, 9 experienced Russian hikers died mysteriously in the Ural Mountains. I'm sorry, I can't keep that up. That's
Again.
after setting up camp near Dyatlov Pass. Investigators found the hikers had fled their tent in the middle of the night. Many without shoes or proper clothing, in freezing conditions. Their bodies showed strange injuries, including skull fractures and chest trauma, but there were no external wounds. Some had high levels of radiation in their clothing.
Oh.
The cause of their deaths remains unknown, the origins ranging from an avalanche to secret military tests or even paranormal activity. Now the avalanche is bullshit because there was no signs of it. This is another one where you look at it, it doesn't make any fucking sense. They're up there, they're travelling, they've got a history of travelling in this weather. They know how to travel safely. None of them were dickheads, and yet they all acted in the same way, which was heavily a dickhead way of acting, which was like running out naked in the storm and getting frozen to death with loads of contusions on their body, which again showed no external signs.
Ooh.
Fucking aliens, mate.
Probing
So,
dudes.
I'd say that's a solid 3, maybe 4 out of 10 there, aliens.
Yeah.
And that is how the cookie crumbles.
Oh, that's 2 things we need to do from now on the podcast. When it comes to the last fight between us, let's go, one more fight.
Fucking celebrate. Oh yes. Fuck do my sandwich.
And when the last fact has been done is, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, because it seems meaningful, but it's not at all.
No.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like non-meaningful, meaningful things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's what she said.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Oh, I'm afraid she did. Your mum. So, have a lovely thing and stuff, and we'll see you next week, and I'll feel better, and we'll probably have a lot more. Be a bit more animated. I've been a bit sedate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. Fuck you. Fuck you for wanting more.
He doesn't mean that.
I don't mean that. I love you guys. I'm sorry.
Bye-bye.
No. What do you get the man who has everything? Here at Big Bill's Cocks and Socks, we can give him what he really wants. A second cock, underneath or beside the original, and a fresh pair of socks. God damn, he'll be happy. Big Bill's Cocks and Socks.
Hello there, it's the Whiskey, Wine and Wisdom Carpool Questionnaire, featuring our guest, our very special celebrity guest, Mr. Paul McCartney. Hello there, yes, I'm here. Oh, yes, it's here. Here for a little drive along, we'll have a little time, aren't we? It'd be great, yeah. Okay, that's very chipper, aren't you? Wonderful, almost counter to your regular personality, but I like it. I like it a lot. Now, obviously, you're a Beatle. Let's get that out of the way. That's what you're most known for. Yes, I was in the Beatles. I was the main Beatle in a lot of ways. Oh, you would rate yourself as the sort of the prime Beatle, would you? Well, yeah, there were 4 of us, the Fab Four. They were prime members, but really it came down to just the 4 of us, and one of them's a drummer, so he doesn't really count. And then you really had, George was a good guy, but he just played guitar, and it's just not a very difficult instrument, is it? It's very basic. And I was obviously playing the bass guitar, which is like an advanced, very thick stringed guitar, and it's a more powerful instrument. All the grooves and the songs we write, just without the bass guitar, you just wouldn't have any song there, really. But just bullshit, it'd be. And then John, he's just is a very, he's very John, isn't he? Yes, obviously, you were a very contentious but close relationship in a lot of ways. And I mean, is it you've lost 2 members of the band? Yeah, it's just me and the Ringo boys. That's all that's left, really. I mean, how do you, as you see, you miss your friends? Like, well, in some ways I do, but obviously every time we lose a Beatle member, the remaining members become more powerful. Sorry? Well, the Beatle force, just, it increases in us and then we just become more powerful, just bit by bit, How does that work then? Well, there's the Beetle power, Beetle force, then you got the final Beetle, which is the final one that controls all the power, and becomes, are they Highlander rules, And that's just kind of how it is. I just, I mean, I've been tempted a few times just to give Ringo a little push, but goddamn, that guy's in good shape, he just carries on. Hello there. I've been, the back seat the entire time, Paul. I think it's a bit rude of you, to be honest. You're just talking about me like I'm just crap, and you're just joking around about me dying. It's just not very nice. Well, Ringo, maybe I should just fucking push you down the stairs, mate. Maybe just end it all, You're only a drummer after all. Plenty more drummers out there. Not many fucking Paul McCartneys in the world, are there? No. Many fucking drummers there, aren't there? Think about it. Think about it, Ringo. You should be thanking me because, for fucking 60 years or whatever, I've not even tried to kill you. But I could have. Easy. It would have been so easy. The money I've got, I could have got someone. Just, boop, you'd be gone. Maybe I'll push you down the stairs. Well, maybe I'll fucking put my foot up your arse, you piece of shit. Guys, can we calm it down a little bit? Well, sometimes I think maybe you need to be given a bit of a slap, Paul. Maybe you're just a bit of a prick. I think we're going to end the interview there. Just can you pull over and maybe let me out? I'm just going to go fucking make a few phone calls because maybe this fucking cunt needs to... Alright, that's enough of that. Okay, I'll call it there. Thank you so much for coming by, and we'll see you next to Carpool Questionnaire. Bye.